Let's flip it over to the defense, where, in my opinion, we made a massive upgrade. We went out and got Robert Quinn in free agency, which, I mean, we added one of the best pass rushers in the NFL last year. I know he had a bounce back year himself, but we added a legit pass rusher, and we passed on Leonard Floyd, who made a decent payday going to the Rams. Kind of a head scratcher on that dollar amount, but I seriously feel like this is just a straight upgrade for the Chicago Bears. We added a fantastic pass, thing that Floyd could never do for us. And now teams have to respect Khalil Mack on one side and Quinn on the other.
Yeah, I think with the Quinn signing, at least the Floyd thing, I think it makes sense for the Rams just because, yes, you bring up the fact that's a lot of money to pay Leonard Floyd, who hasn't had a lot of production. But then again, that is a little bit under what he was going to make anyways this year if they picked up his fifth-year option. So I think it's fair market price for him, especially for a one-year deal. I mean, if it doesn't work out, you just don't pay him again.
It's a proven deal, yeah.
Yeah, I don't really hate that deal for the Rams. He's still athletic. If they use him in the right way, he could be somebody that could turn out to be something. But with the Quinn thing, and the biggest thing is I was looking at this, and NFL Next Gen Stats has this stat that has our average yards to the quarterback. So how close to the quarterback were you on a certain play? The league average is 4.5 yards for people who are rushing. Leonard Floyd was 4.6, so he was worse than league average. Khalil Mack was 4.2, and I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I think Robert Quinn was 3.9. There was, I think, 5 games that Robert Quinn had of under 4 yards per separation between him and the quarterback. And I think Khalil Mack had 6. Leonard Floyd had 2. So you are immediately you're adding someone who will not only help just because you're upgrading Leonard Floyd, but you're helping Khalil Mack. And we know what Khalil Mack can do just in general. And now if you have Akeem Hicks, you have Eddie Goldman, you have Roy Robertson-Harris alongside of Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, this might be the best defensive line that we've ever seen in Chicago. And that is saying a lot when you have Richard Dent and good old, who's my guy, Dan Hampton, right? Like when William Perry, when you have that type of a defensive line that won the Super Bowl in '86, you have the talent to have the best defensive line in franchise history, and that is saying a lot with the history that this franchise has. So I truly think that this is a big move, a move that I don't think was maybe necessary because there was more issues on the offensive line, in the secondary, even at the skill positions, tight end and wide receiver. But I do think that this is something that could absolutely be a game changer because we know that if you're getting pressure on the quarterback, that's going to speed up time. That's going to open up the ability for Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson to make plays in the secondary, Danny Trevathan, Roquan Smith. So that's why I like it because, yes, I think the secondary now in today's game is more important. But if you're able to get to the quarterback, that helps your secondary out much more. And if they're able to get the right safety next to Eddie Jackson, I think this defense could be the best in the league again.
Well, and it's important that you get, to me, like I always say, draft-wise, the 2 most important positions are quarterback and pass rusher. And going back to the Bears' schedule that they will face this year, you are seeing Matt Ryan, Teddy Bridgewater, Stafford twice a year, Aaron Rodgers twice a year, Kirk twice a year, Drew Brees, now Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Phillip Rivers, Gardner Minshew, and Jared Goff. The only one I left off, the Giants. That's the only quarterback that I see to where it's like, nah, not a problem to you.
But
like,
you know what's great?
Like,
it's a bunch of old guys who aren't mobile.
The
best players out there are old players who aren't mobile. That's what we can feast on.
Yes, but like for example, Phillip Rivers in that sense, yes, he's not mobile, but they've got one of the best O-lines. So I feel like this year is like, because it's going to be such a tough year for the Bears schedule-wise, that you need a defense that is going to be like Sean mentioned. That is Super Bowl, one of the greatest defenses that we've ever seen in Chicago. Yeah. Because you're going to be going up against that same type of caliber from the quarterback position.
Yeah, and too, alongside that, I mean, we've seen all the times that when the Bears were like that last year or the year before, and I don't think they're ever going to be up to that level of turnovers. But even last year, there were so many times that they would force a turnover of this defense, and then the ball would be given right back to the other team, or that we'd settle for a field goal, right? So if this team is able to take turnovers and turn them into touchdowns, that's the key to success here. I mean, I don't think we need to have a top even half of the league offense. We don't need a top 15 offense. We need a top 20 offense that's just very good at converting third downs and is good at converting in the red zone. And if they're able to take an advantage of those opportunities, converting in the red zone and converting at third down, then that's going to be the biggest thing that helps them. Keep that defense off the field, because then if you are setting for field goals, even if you are setting for field goals, you are at least giving them time to catch a break. So I think that's the biggest thing with the Bears defense here is if you keep them healthy and you keep them rested, this team can cause havoc. I mean, it's just on their defense alone. You can have Mitch out there, you can have Nick Foles out there, but if they're scoring at least 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns a game, I don't think that you can really write this team off from winning this division. I think that they can be massively impactful with the additions that they've made so far.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and it's possession. How much the defense saw the field last year. Like there's no way they were going to keep up the ridiculous numbers they'd been able to put up the year prior, just from the fact that they were getting so many more snaps. They had to put so little break time on the sidelines. One of the funniest stats I keep seeing float around Reddit is, if we add 8 points to our offense, we would have only lost 2 games in the past 2 years. Like if our offense just gets slightly
just
better,
a little bit better.
Swing. Like the Bears don't get blown out like that. That's just our defense plays too good. So it's one of those situations where as long as we can keep it close, and I think now with the addition of Robert Quinn, an elite pass rusher, like I'm trying to think of a better tandem of pass rushers than Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack. Are there any in the league right now that you can think of?
No. Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald, because Aaron Donald's that good.
Can carry.
Jadeveon Clowney and JJ Watt. Oh wait, Bill Byron's stupid.
Yep.
I would say that
the Smith brothers on Green Bay were good last year. I don't know if they're that good, but I'll give a shout out to Preston and Zadarius. They were really good for Green Bay last year.
I mean, the Colts did get DeForest Buckner to add to them.
Oh, I'll give it to San Francisco. I would say Bosa and Armstead would probably be up there. I mean, we saw what they did. I mean, just in the Super Bowl, what Bosa did alone in the Super Bowl. So I think that they might get the edge there just because of how dominant Bosa was. And hey, don't forget that was his rookie year. So I think San Francisco might take it, but Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack have more skin in the game than that San Francisco duo does.
Yeah, no, I really do like the tandem, and Shawnee nailed as far as it may not have been a dire weakness that we need to address, but by adding additional pass rush, it comes up for the. We're still hunting for that true secondary safety to match up with Jackson, and we did just sign. Who's his name? I was scrolling through.
Artie Burns,
yeah. So we'll see
from ex-Steelers.
Yep. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not too crazy about the Artie Burns signing. I'm really interested to see who they're going to get safety wise. I know Carl Joseph is still available. Von Bell is now available now that the Saints went with Malcolm Jenkins over re-signing Von Bell. Those are 2 guys in Carl Joseph and Von Bell that I would absolutely love to see next to Eddie Jackson. But yeah, no, I mean, they still are looking for a second corner. Prince Amukamara is gone. That's still a weakness there. How much do they trust Robertson that they brought over from CFL? How much do they trust Tevin Colliver? I think I said Tevin Colliver.
You said yeah. Yep.
Kevin Tolliver. How much do they trust him to be their number 2 cornerback? So, I mean, those are the questions now with this defense are who's your second corner and who's going to play next to Eddie Jackson. But outside of that, this defense is solid. The depth is not there like it was last year. If Trevathan or Roquan goes down this year, there isn't a Nick Kwiatkowski to back him up, right? There isn't a Kevin Pierre-Louis to back them up. There is no depth that is here on this defense, and that's the biggest issue. But if everyone stays healthy, you're going to have one of the best defenses in the league. And the Mac thing too, like you talk about, it wasn't a weakness. The best part of this defense is Khalil Mack, right? And I'm just thinking about this as a restaurant, right? If you're building up a dish, right? Your main dish is your pizza, right? If you have like really great crust, if you use a shitty oven, it's not going to be as good. right? You need to bolster your best pieces and make sure that those pieces are used and implemented in the best way possible. And if you just have, Leonard Floyd, who has 3 sacks and only plays well against the Packers next to Khalil Mack isn't going to perform as well. But if you give him the right proper heat and right proper airwaves and the right proper bubbles, then that crust is going to be fantastic and you're going to have the best pizza in the world. And I think that's exactly what this Robert Quinn move is.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks, Sean. I agree. It's so funny how Ryan Pace's theory of building a team and what we've seen from a results standpoint kind of shows here. He has such a focus on what he wants his defense to be and how he wants them to just be so dominant. And meanwhile, the offensive moves we talked about, Nick Foles, someone who can be a game manager plus, going out and spending $9 million on someone like Jimmy Graham. Like, it's just the tale of two cities with Ryan Pace. And like the offense, we just need to do enough to get by. The defense, we want to put them 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a weird mentality. So I wonder what he's going to do in this when it comes down to the fact, like, we do have some comp picks, but we have 2 second-rounders that I wonder if we're going to trade back out of one of those maybe. What do you guys think with that second round? We need to address the O-line. We need to what would you guys do? I know this isn't exactly
depends on what quarterback is there. If Jalen Hurts is sitting there, I take him. Like, if the quarterback you thought would not drop drops, I take him. Otherwise, I look to O-line. That's what I would do. I'd either go O-line or that quarterback dropped and holy shit, he's here. Or holy shit, that quarterback dropped. I'm going to trade up in the second round to go ahead and get him. Because if Jalen Hurts drops to the second round, I'm sorry, I'm trading up to get him.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm trading up to get him, but
because there's no way the Colts would pass on him.
Well, I think too with this, I mean, you look at what they have right now. There isn't a guarantee that there's a quarterback on the roster next year. If Foles doesn't perform well, they can cut him, and if Trubisky doesn't perform well, they're probably not going to pick up that 5th-year option. So I think they still need to have a contingency plan in place for the future of a quarterback. So I think Jalen Hurts would make a ton of sense. I would hate to see a Fromm, or I would hate to see a who's the other dude from Georgia? Fromm and Eason. I'd hate to see those guys picked, but if Hurts is there, I would absolutely take him with that 40th.
Okay, some fun notes to end on there. That wraps up Superfans this week. I want to do a quick shout out to our Patreon. We had an awesome first segment, thanks to Tim with the suggestion at the Silver. Quick shout out to Twitch chat. Sam, you've been keeping us company the entire time during Superfans. Thank you for that. If you guys want to watch us live, go live on Saturdays for a couple hours to do the fast break and Super. Sometimes we toss in a little sprinkle of the PTP. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. So much for watching on YouTube. Wow, Ricky, when you have that screen up, you look hilariously white. Like, the color contrast in there. I love it. All right, I'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye, guys.